Hey folks, Kilt-Man here, Kilt-Man, at your service. Today we are wearing the Hunting Macleod. We're playing a little bit of Highlander. Behind you there, Michael Kamen's glorious, resplendent, rhapsodic, beautiful, haunting score for Highlander. None of the Queen stuff, just the Michael Kamen stuff. Now, you guys know I've got the Macleod tartan, the one that he wears. This is obviously Conor Macleod, played by that French guy. Yes, you know, Christopher Lambert, which they wore the correct tartan in that film, and I have that one. But this is the hunting variant. So, now, had I known I was going to do this video, then I would have put the other kilt on. But hey, you know, as luck would have it, I'm wearing the other Macleod. It's how fate turns. Fate does these things to you, and fate delivered something to me today, which I'm now going to show you. Oh yes, oh yes. Folks, how are you all? I hope you're doing very, very well. Oh, lest I forget, and lest my young friend here, Mr. Kentucky Fudge, gets any ideas and starts drinking this himself. Been a bit of a tearaway of late, has young Kentucky. But hey, you know, he's a lovable scamp at the same time. Chip off the old block, you could say. Right, so folks, what I've got for you today, a little package turned up, a little bit quicker than I thought it was going to turn up. It's here now. So, and it's inspired by Highlander, or rather it's inspired by the Kurgan, played by Clancy Brown, one of the 80s best, screen villains. And those of you who are looking over at Kentucky's Barnet over here can no doubt see what I'm getting at, because it's this. It's not a mask, it's a helmet, made by a mask company, made by my favourite, Ghoulish Productions, yes. And they do a bit of a range of these sort of fantasy helmets with like long manes of hair at the back, and this one I do believe was the first that they did, and it's very, very, very clearly inspired by the awesome sort of dragon skull helmet that Clancy Brown as the Kurgan wears at the start of Highlander, where he has the big battle with, the Clan Macleod, and of course there's one amongst them called Macleod, Conor Macleod. He is mine. And he sticks his sword through him, of course Conor doesn't die. And then Conor, after having, seemingly got over his injury and been resurrected, all his mates turn on him and beat the shit out of him. God, I'd rather have just fucking died and then get outcast, But Ghoulish Productions, I don't know, I don't have this on record, but I'd pretty much think, I'd wager money, and I haven't got that much of it to wager, that they were inspired by that dragon helm which Clancy Brown wears. Now in the film, it's much bigger, more elaborate, and it comes down, it's got facial guards, and I think it comes under his chin a bit, and it's definitely a lot bigger than what you're going to see here. But I think you're going to see what I mean. Kentucky, if you don't mind. Oh, Ghoulish Productions, there's the tag off it. On the back it's just called Monster Helmet. But they do a range of these. There's a wolf one, and there's a bear one as well. Now the bear one, I would actually anticipate getting that, because then you could play the 13th warrior, couldn't you? Or rather, the tribe that fights the warrior clan that includes the 13th warrior, Antonio Banderas, however you say it. Folks, look at this. Now this is meant to be a dragon skull. It's got slightly skew width in the postage, but I can work on that. Look at this. Look at these sort of monstrous side horns, side fangs, side mandibles. Who knows? And these great big fangs here. There's the eyes up top. Bony nostrils. Ghoulish always do a fabulous finishing touch. I've said it many, many times. Mouths, eyes, skin, blood, the texture, they have a shine to them. And this is no exception. Even though it's meant to be bone, it's got a lovely sort of sheen going on there. And it is beautiful. And, you have these sort of bony, sort of spiked plates at the back of the skull. which rise up in these little spiky rivulets, and the hair is interspersed amongst that. The hair on the top is glued on. The hair, the mane down the back, which looks incredibly sort of familiar to me, is stitched in to a lovely bit of material which would sweep down the back of your neck. Very comfortable. And it is marvellous. Look at the fangs here. Look at all this. Very well detailed. Since I got it, and I've worn it a couple of times, I've been trying to pull it down over my face because I'm so used to wearing masks. That sounds terrible. But then again, in the current climate of COVID-19, the age, this is the age of the COVID-19, COVID-19. Comment below if you get the reference on that one, by the way. But yeah, so I've been trying to pull it down over my face and try to look through these. It's a helmet, Kilt-Man. It's a helmet. So, I'm going to put it on. Better get some of this. He has got long hair in it, as our Clancy. Clancy is still a fabulous actor. Now, as I say, it does blend with my mane as well, as you can see. Now, his does have these pieces that come down either side of his face, and they jump forward. So it's almost like his head is inside the mouth of a growling dragon. Now, I'd love to get that. I don't know if you actually can. I mean, I've got some other stuff from Highlander, which I'm going to show you, something down here, which goes very well with this. So I don't know if you can actually get a replica of that. It'd be great if you could. I would definitely have it. As I say, it's slightly stoved in on that side, but you know, you've got to expect these things. I need those sort of cheek guards to hide my chubby cheeks. You know, quarantine and lockdown, I've been nibbling like mad. Oh man. Fridge over there, cupboard over there, food, grill over there. Oh, meat, sausages, bacon, eggs, and I shouldn't be eating eggs, but hey, I have been. There you go. Now, I've looked inside this. I know some people like to see it's any kind of markings, any kind of logos, and there isn't. There's none at all. There may be a ghoulish stamp or engraving somewhere in the hairline, but you know, basically you don't want to see those things. Keep on the inside if you're going to do them. There's plenty of masks that have a full deluxe overhead and down the back of the neck, but they've got in big sort of, you know, stamped on, I keep saying stamped on, it's kind of engraved into the rubber itself, into the latex. They've got their logo, and they will, if you're going to go out and wear this sort of thing, you don't want it showing off, do you? But then again, they want to advertise, don't they? So there you go, look at that, look at that. Now, the Kurgan, as you may well remember, has an epic sword, the Kurgan blade. It is a two-handed broadsword, a whopping big bastard sword. It's also one of the most iconic, it may be one of the most iconic swords in fantasy cinema, but it's also one of the most hyper unrealistic and stupid. Because as you see, in later days, in the 80s, when he's what would be modern day in New York, when he's come to hunt down, you know, Conor Macleod, who's now Nash, antiques dealer, and master samurai sword wielder. He has the sword that you see at the beginning, the sword he penetrates Conor with through the side, and he fits it together. He gets it out of a case and he clips the blade together. I have done a video on this, but I don't know if I did the video on YouTube or whether I did it on Facebook. I can't remember. And I did discuss the whole design mechanism and the faults and the greatness, but the ridiculousness of this blade. So I'm going to basically go through it all again. And you can't, a blade should never snap together. It may look cool in movies, but believe you me, that's not going to work. The minute you strike something, that's going to snap. It's just ridiculous. And even as a kid, when I watched it, before I did any sword fighting or collecting of any swords, I knew then, because I grew up in a house full of weapons and edged blades and stuff, bayonet swords, rapiers, you know, axes, everything. Which is why I am a product of what, you know, what I became the man I am. I'm a product of my father's obsessions with deadliness and the art of killing. And I knew then, that can never work, that's fucking ridiculous. You click together a blade. What? So there's a stress line right there. It's never going to work. Anyway, of course, I have the sword here. Yes, there we go. Look at this, folks. That is a two-handed bastard sword. A whopping big fucking broadsword. Let's take this off for the time being. Kentucky, you have the com. Right. Let's get back a bit. Big sword, yeah. Big sword. Crossguard is beautifully, well, it's minimal, but it's also very iconic and very, wow, that's pretty distinctive. And that's not that unrealistic. A crossguard could look like that, and it's certainly got some protective value to your hands. But then we get the thing, right? In the film, not only does he clip it together, but he has these sort of longettes, which at a flick of a button, they shoot out of the crossguard. These spikes. Here they are. Now, the reason why this replica does not have shooty-outy spikes is because it's fucking totally illegal. That would be a spring-loaded blade. I don't know of many countries that do allow that. Someone's going to say, oh, well, I can get that. And I think there is a replica which does do it. I think there is, but most will not do it. There you are, the spikes there. The spikes in this case, they literally just sit against the blade, and you manually have to pull them out. They don't sit inside here, but you manually pull them out. Now, in the film, they're very distinctive as well, and as you can see, that definitely adds, some kind of glorious, bloodthirsty sort of, iconoclasm to it. Iconoclasm, if that's a word, then hey, if it isn't, I've just created it. But it's certainly iconic. Rescue there. And but in reality, you're never going to have these on a broadsword. It may look cool, but no, what purpose do they serve? I'll tell you the purpose that they serve in other swords. In traditional fencing, a rapier, sabre even, there's many reasons why you'd have these. And the reason would be, well, the main reason would be that in sort of close fighting, your opponent has come in, your blades have gone down the length. You can use that. You can use these longettes to snap into the hilt of the other sword or around the blade and twist it out of your opponent's hand. You can disarm him. That's the point. That's the point of these things. That is what it's there for. But with a broadsword, even though in the film you see them, a katana going against, another katana, and going a claymore going against this, and those sword blades can travel down each other's length. That's not going to do it. You are not going to disarm someone else, another broadsword, with these. That's just not going to happen. It's just there, to look cool. That's what it is. It's just coolness. Weapon tech. Now, I know some of you who may be massively into the Highlander series, one of the excuses that somebody somewhere gave for the snap together blade was that, well, this is like future technology because these guys have travelled, they've done this, they've learned that, they're fantastical, and the stress fracture in that joint would be completely augmented by the glory of the metallurgy. Bullshit! Bullshit! It's not in the script, it's not in the film, it's never listed. Someone else also said that, well, maybe the one you see him put together is the one he uses for stealth purposes, and he keeps the real one, somewhere else. But that can fit in like a briefcase and he can walk around. Have you seen the Kurgan? Stealth and subtlety is not exactly at the top of his agenda. That's not how he acts. That's not how he carries himself. He struts anyway. He goes into a fucking church and waggles his tongue at the nuns, and all this kind of shit. It's better to burn out than to fade away. You know, that's his mentality. So stealth and subtlety, no way. But I think you'll agree, it does make for one of fantasy cinema's most iconic of blades, the Kurgan blade. It's glorious, and you know, for swinging it around in the garden, it does look bloody good. It does feel impressive. The weight is good. Clancy Brown is a big guy, so this, whatever stunt swords he was using, you can guarantee there was some weight to them, And he's using it like single-handedly as well. I mean that plunge through Conor's side, like that, and then he gets dragged away. Next time, Macleod, and all that kind of shit. But to even things up, folks, as I like to do, I don't just have that sword, the Kurgan's blade. I also have the Macleod Claymore. Now I know I've shown you this before. I know I have. Macleod. And this is a beauty, an absolute beauty. And I've discussed this before, I know. But you have the ricassa here. The ricassa is the part of the blade which is blunt, and it's blunt for a purpose. Its weight as well, but also for the ability to half sword. Half swording is when, instead of just using the sword like this, hacking, bringing it down, or even a bit of dexterity, bit of blade dexterity, I think I was trying to say there. You can grab hold of it, which actually allows you to then make precision, stabs through armour, the joins in the armour, any vulnerable spot, you could actually target like that. But in a melee, when things get in close and you're surrounded by combatants or incompetents, you grab hold of it and you've got the chance to use it with precision, and also bash, bang. You can use this, so you've got two weapons now, two weapons out of the one device. Bang, boosh, bang. Kentucky's nodding there. He knows, he's done it, he's learned. He's a HEMA specialist. So it's a great sword. The Claymore is a wonderful, wonderful weapon. In later centuries, the Claymore would change and you'd get the basket hilt. The basket hilt would be where the crossguard would literally become, a steel, a metal basket weave around the hand, so the entire hand was protected. Your hand would fit inside. It's almost like a mesh metal glove. Wonderful, wonderful. And that is a great, great sword. I love that, But let's go back to this guy. For a big villain, he's got to have something that's going to look incredible, that's going to be intimidating, that's going to leave a lasting impression on your mind, providing this hasn't already run through that mind. And that is just glorious, isn't it? With these out, longettes out, looks great, doesn't it? It does look great. And the leather-bound hilt is gorgeous as well. It says, it's a two-handed sword. You can get three hands on that. I know, I've only got little hands, but, Hey. Tickle under the chin there, sir. Yes. Close shave, perhaps. There can be only one. Oh. So, folks, there you go. That was a little tour through the awesome Kurgan blade, and that's totally inspired purely because of getting that. And the reason why I got that was because I thought it looked cool, and I think I can play around with that. There's stuff that I can do with that helmet, and it definitely, in my mind, that is inspired by the Kurgan's dragon helmet from the opening sort of scenes of Highlander. I think so. Let's have a look at it again. As I say, this wonderful material and mesh at the back, very comfortable, and that's stitched in there. The hair is stitched in, not glued, it's stitched. See, the hair on the top is glued in, but it's glued pretty well. I don't think that's going to come away. people with masks and that, I always seem to see people having problems with the hair on their masks, and it's always, oh, it comes away. There's so many people who talk about the Michael Myers masks from Trick or Treat Studios, and oh, I opened it and half the hair came off. I've not had that problem. I've not had it. So I'm not going to say that that isn't the case, and it's not like a common thing. It's just that in my experience, I've not come across it myself. Maybe just been lucky, I don't know. But that definitely is, you know, there's something going on there. It's almost like it's been personalised. And although mine might not be in ringlets at the moment, trust me, normally my hair is fucking super curly. I have to work to do this. Yeah, I know. This mess is the result of me actually working, trying to design it and sculpt it. I don't like curls. Curls are okay occasionally. Curls are okay on a girl. And sometimes I don't mind curls, but mine are like fucking wild fucking ringlets and stuff. And they come down like that. Way. Oh, it's just... The thing is, like, I should learn to embrace them, because women have always got, oh, have you got lovely hair? Oh, I kill for hair like that. You know, and they always come and grab hold of the hair, like, oh, look at that. So when I was a kid, I got that all the time. Throughout my teens, when I grew my hair to a new romantic stage, and then sometimes I'd forget, you know, to straighten it, and I'd go out partying, and then it's gone completely afro, and women would go, oh, look at your hair, oh, look at that, and what a way in that was. And now I do everything I can to try and stamp out every curl going. I think I need to rethink my strategy. Isn't that? Oh, you see now, there was a time when he had curls as well. Too late now, son, too late. There can be only one. See, it'd be great. I have no skills whatsoever. You may have noticed that. I mean, if I could attach and make some kind of like facial guard out of, you know, sort of latex and bone, I would do so. I would definitely try to do it. But I do like this. Maybe it's also, I need to watch Dragon Slayer again. You know, one of Disney's darkest hour, Dragon Slayer. Great movie. So horribly underappreciated and so horribly absent on Blu-ray. Where the hell is it? And I love the movie. You can expect a review of that sometime in the future. But maybe it's inspired by that. I'm just thinking now, maybe you do see people with helmets like that in it. I can't remember. As I say, you know, if you guys know more than I do, and I can pretty much wager that you guys do know more than I do, please let me know. But in the meantime, I am going to watch Dragon Slayer again. So guys, what do you think of that? It's unusual, isn't it? It's unusual. I don't really like the idea. I would not walk around in the one that's a bear. I mentioned 13th Warrior, but I wouldn't, even though it's not real, a bear head and a wolf, no chance. Because I'm totally opposed to, you know, any kind of animal violence. I know no animals died to make these fucking masks or helmets or whatever. I know. And no dragon died for my headgear, that's for sure. But maybe a lion did. I don't know. But I wouldn't want to be seen wearing that either. This is fantastic. It's a dragon, for God's sake, and it's a dragon skull. You know, it doesn't mean that I killed the dragon. I found it, just fashioned a helmet out of it. So, anyway, look at that. I do like it. There's the way it's shaped there with these two outer horns, fangs, weird things. There's a kind of like sort of, you know, Chinese or Tibetan sort of look to it, you know, them old traditional hats. Way, and it's coming like that. Yeah, maybe you can get one of these in one of the Wuhan, you know, food markets. Wouldn't surprise me. Folks, right, stuff coming up. Review of Aliens coming up. A review of the film Mona Lisa, because that's been requested, and we're going to do it. And of course, I've been watching a lot of 80s stuff as well. I kind of remembered a sci-fi comedy which I used to love, but I haven't seen again in years. And I like doing this. I like finding films I haven't watched, and do they stand up? Do I remember them really well? You know, are they still as good today? And it's Ice Pirates, or rather The Ice Pirates with Robert Urich. Come on now. It's absolutely brilliant. I remember laughing my bollocks off to that. And I've got it. I'm going to dig it out and I'm going to watch it and I'm going to review it. So hopefully it lives up to my memories of it. But the alien stuff will go on. And plenty more as well. There's more stuff coming. I've got stuff arriving tomorrow as well. You know, got paid. Aye. So folks, in the meantime and the in-between time, stay safe, stay happy, stay healthy. Make sure you don't lose your head. Because if head comes away, it's over. And in the meantime and in between time, keep it kilted, keep it Celtic. I'm going to see you all. My name's Candy. Of course you are. Later.